Our opponent must answer. Greetings, everyone. I'm glad to be here, and I am glad that you are here. We are playing one of my favorite decks again. We have played this on the channel, but it's been like, whatever. A year or something, maybe even longer since that video. And I love this deck. I think it's awesome. We are currently playing a version that really hasn't changed much, honestly, in quite some time. So, that might change after we play some games and we see the sorts of things that happen there. But for now, this is a relatively similar list to ones you have seen me play in the past if you have followed the channel for long. What are we doing? Well, one of my favorite planeswalkers of all time is Gideon, and all of those Gideons. I like the dynamic between changing between a creature and a planeswalker and stuff. I think it makes the planeswalkers interesting. Needless to say, WotC was cruel and chose to take Gideon away from me. But whatever. It is what it is. So, one of the cool things you can do, though, is with Helm of the Host. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create a token that is a copy of equipped creature, except the token is not legendary if the equipped creature is legendary. That token gains haste. So, that's right. Gideons can become creatures, and those creatures aren't legendary. So we can equip the Helm of the Host on our Gideons and create more Gideons and create more Gideons and create more Gideons. And they can be very, very powerful tools to use in our arsenal. Because the turn you create them, Gideon Blackblade is a creature on our turn. We don't have to activate it. So you can even attack with the Gideon token that comes out because it does have haste. This one has haste, but in order for Gideon of the Trials to become a creature, you have to activate Gideon of the Trials' middle ability, which is create a 4/4, right? Or, I mean, become a 4/4. So you miss it on the first turn. But keep in mind, folks, either one of these is very good. First of all, for the tempo that Gideon Blackblade can provide, and it goes up to 5. The next turn going up to 6... we can start exiling permanents. Gives us a lot of flexibility on top of being able to grant another creature vigilance, lifelink, or indestructible means that we can be throwing around vigilance and lifelink on our other creatures, or even one another on the Gideons if we get multiples. But this Gideon of the Trials, though, +1 until your next turn. Prevent all damage that target permanent would deal, including manlands. It does say target permanent. So you can plus on their Hall of the Storm Giants or something, and it doesn't deal damage this upcoming turn, right? No matter what they do to it, unless of course they prevent the damage prevention. But that's neither here nor there, right? You prevent the damage. So creating a bunch of Gideon of the Trials means you can prevent the damage from a bunch of different sources, right? Also, you get an emblem with as long as you control a Gideon Planeswalker, you can't lose the game. Your opponents can't win the game. So if you have a bunch of Gideon of the Trials preventing damage from all of their creatures and stuff, you get this emblem that says you can't lose as long as you control a Gideon, but they can't deal any damage because you have a bunch of Gideons, right? So very, very cool thing to do with the Helm of the Host, and that is the point of the deck. What else is going on in this deck? Well, we have board sweeper packages here. There's some Wrath of Gods, Doomskars. Normally, I have kept Shatter the Sky out because Wrath of God and Day of Judgment are typically just better. Your opponents don't draw any cards when you sweep their board. But keep in mind, our Gideons are indestructible. They're 4/4s. So this is almost always we draw cards. Sometimes our opponent does as well. But most of the time, like in Historic and stuff, when you're sweeping the board and really getting a lot of value out of it, it's for merfolk, it's for elves, it's for goblins and stuff. And they don't have a lot of power 4 or greater creatures, right? So this one is good. If you don't have Shadow of the Skies, it's not a big deal. Like your Day of Judgments, Wrath of Gods, even more Doomskars, it's all fine. That's all fine. As a matter of fact, it might even be better. This might be too cute, but I love the interaction, so we're playing it, right? Darn it. But again, since our primary way of killing our opponent is with our Gideons, with our other Planeswalkers, these board sweepers are basically free. We are running 8. That seems like a pretty good number. It could be played with a little more. We'll see after the games. Mind Stone, Mazemind Tome. This for ramp, this for a little card advantage later because we are kind of playing a more controlling role. A little Banishing Light for interacting with problematic permanents. And then, of course, Karn Sign of Urza, creating Karnstructs, 0/0 construct artifact creature token with this creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact we control. So random Mazemind Tomes, Mind Stones, Helm of the Hosts, and other sideboard things hanging out on the battlefield grows our Karnstruct, but keep in mind, we can equip Helm of the Host on a Karnstruct as well, creating another one of these artifacts that just continues to grow every turn because you're getting a bunch of them because you're adding more artifacts to the board as well as just more of these creatures. So very powerful. And another Helm of the Host synergy. Karn the Great Creator, another synergy piece here, allowing us to go to the sideboard to get a hold of key pieces. Another pretty awesome interaction that you can do here is reveal an artifact you control from outside the game, put into your hand. The plus, though, until your next turn, up to one target non-creature artifact becomes an artifact creature with power and toughness each equal to its mana value. So if we get out, specifically God-Pharaoh statue, but any of these, you can put it on the battlefield, equip, or turn it into a creature the next turn with Karn, equip Helm of the Host to it, and create new God-Pharaoh statues every turn. Increasing the cost of all of your opponent's spells by 2 every single turn, basically locking them out of the game, as well as, you know, doing other things like making multiple Shadow Spears to give a bunch of creatures lifelink and trample, creating extra, not Tormod's Crypts because they're 0-drop, extra Meteor Golems is the other one I was looking for. Just putting Helm of the Host on Meteor Golem every single combat is going to destroy another one of their permanents just every single turn, and they're not strictly locked out, but it feels like you're locked out. And notably, this one is a creature, so that it doesn't require you to tick up with Karn. All that said, darn it, let's go play some games. The deck is fun. You'll love it. Let's go play some games. All right, folks. Here we are, up against Paco. Good luck, Paco. And yeah, I mean, this looks like a good hand. We're a little heavy on the lands, no question. But we've got a Gideon. We've got some interaction. We've got another Planeswalker to follow things up. So, you know, if we were on the draw, this would be a lot sketchier. But since we'll be able to theoretically wipe the board before they kill us, you know, I think we're okay with this. Opponent, Vizier of Remedies. Well, that's terrifying. All right, well, Gideon the Trials, come on down. We're going to go up on Vizier of Remedies, but this is scary. We're a little bit worried about what our opponent might be doing here. Of course, there is no Devoted Druid combo here. Uh-oh. Our opponent in a bit of a spot. They're missing a land drop, folks, so we're going to try and punish them. Shatter the Sky, take away what are clearly combo pieces there. Draw an extra card ourselves. Crash in for 4 past the turn. Yeah, folks, sometimes you keep a 2-lander and you don't play Magic. So, what do you say? What do you say? I'm sorry, opponent, but I'm not really, really sorry. You know, I've been there too. I commiserate with your suffering. GG. All right, folks, we're up against player 68-725. Good luck, player 68-725. Yeah, we're gonna hang into this. A little bit of ramp, a little bit of interaction. Opponent shocking in. That can't be good. Goes back to their turn. That must have been for the 2-mana or the 1-mana deal 2 damage to creatures thing. Narset, Parter of Veils. We dislike this, Sam I am. Alright, opponent has an Archmage's Charm. Well, we're just going to go ahead, go down, so that we can get card advantage without being in a draw card situation. This is putting cards into our hand. It's not the same as drawing them. All right, so we get a land drop. Opponent Goes down with Narset. Finds Prismari Command. That's not ideal. In a deck full of artifacts, Prismari Command is our enemy. That doesn't mean we can't win, though. You know, this is not one of those situations, but we aren't happy about it, for sure. All right, let's just keep going up. Boy, oh boy, more Gideons. More Gideons. These things are good. Opponent thinking long and hard about what to give us. I mean, we know they've got counter magic, but what do you do? They're going to have counter magic this game. That's what they're doing. That's their game plan here, you know? All right. Opponent does the thing. We are unsurprised. So we're going to go ahead and pass. Opponent does have the Unholy Heat we expected. Karn, Scion of Urza drops to 5 loyalty points. Expressive Iteration. Iterating expressively. Going to exile something. After adding a card to hand, they exile Sacred Foundry. Do they shock it in? They do. Prismari Command can be available. Well, we're not going to cash in the Mind Stone just yet, unless they go for something here. Alright, we're going to keep going up, folks. We get a Karn, Scion of Urza. I know you're shocked. Considering it was the only option. Land. Karn the Great Creator. We do not expect this to resolve. But it could. It could. It does? What? Alright, sign me up. Let's go to our sideboard. Yeah. Let's just go with a Sorcerer Spyglass. We can cast it right now. Our opponent is likely to be able to just destroy it with Prismari Command here, but we kind of want to bait that anyhow. So we're going to name Teferi Hero of Dominaria. And our opponent is now going to deal some damage, destroy an artifact. Yes, does the thing. These are not surprising events, not even the least bit. Unholy Heat, going to finish off Karn, Scion of Urza. Or, I'm sorry, Karn, Great Creator. Karn, Scion of Urza still on 6 loyalty. Opponent. Steam Vents tapped. Let's go ahead, go down, and grab ourselves a Gideon Blackblade. And we're just going to fire it off. They allow it to resolve. We're going to go with another Gideon. This time of the Trials. We're immediately going to go up so that Lightning Helix doesn't get us. And Gideon Blackblade going to go up. Submit 0. Sure. Plains. For the turn. And your go, opponent. They do have the mana for Torrential Gear Hulk, which I wouldn't be particularly thrilled about. But they don't have anything really exciting to cast. They can potentially Unholy or Lightning Helix and then Torrential Gear Hulk to kill one of our Planeswalkers, but they can't do that this turn, right? So they would have to let's see. Torrential Gear Hulk for Prismari Command. Make a treasure, deal some damage. Yeah. There were lines for our opponent to get back into this game, but they were all very convoluted, and it was going to require that our opponent have things go perfect for them. Knowing what we know about our hand, they would not go perfect, right? That's not the way that would work. So, yeah, because we were going to be able to just animate our Planeswalkers and attack, right? In order for them to have any recourse, they would have to be killing one with damage, Then we get to sweep the board with Wrath of God, and of course our creatures are indestructible. And sooner or later, we get to either start going down on Karn to create Karn structs and just run over them, or whatever. Yeah, we were going to play Magic as well, right? And our opponent was definitely in a spot. So GG, player 68, 725, GG. All right, folks, here we are. This is not StarCraft, is our opponent. And yeah, I think we're going to hang on to this. Turn 2 Mind Stone, pretty okay. Good way to start things off. Oh no, is our opponent on blue-white control? Not good. This is one of our less good matchups, for sure. Opponent Mind Stones. Or, opponent did not Mind Stone. We Mind Stone, pass it to the opponent. They play a Field of Ruin and pass back to us. Fair enough. Well, they don't have the mana for Absorb. They do have like Dovin's Veto or something, so we're gonna try and get a Gideon Blackblade down. Okay, it does resolve. That is good. We're glad it didn't get countered. We elected to get more mana onto the battlefield just in case. We would have preferred to resolve one of our Karns, it's true, but Dovin's Veto is a card they're regularly going to have, so we wanted to test the water with Gideon. This also does, you know, it does get a clock on the board. Our opponent must answer what's going on here, so for now, this is good. Opponent Memory Deluges. Going to look through cards. Get a couple of them, put them into their hand. Sure enough, this is unsurprising. We are going to go ahead, play our Karn, the Great Creator, go dig into our sideboard. I think going to grab a Sorcerer Spyglass. It would have been really nice if we had a land there. Because we would have been able to cast the Sorcerer Spyglass here. We're expecting our opponents to be, you know, playing things like Narsets and Teferis and things like that, right? So being able to shut them off would be really, really nice indeed. Opponent tries to Baffling End. Doesn't work! Opponent. Baffling End targets a creature an opponent controls, mana value 3 or less. So clearly that was their chosen creature removal. Maybe that and some board sweepers and stuff. They might have realized, unless this works, we just can't beat the Gideon. So they scoop them up. GG, opponent, GG. Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou? Across the table from us, you say? Alright, fair enough. Let's play some Magic, Romeo. Let's play some Magic. Gonna begin on a Plains. Oh, crud. Romeo taking a mulligan. Look out. Opponent. Yep, keeps 6. Alright, fine. Well, we're going to be foretelling a Doomskar here. And we will need another land to be able to cast any of these 4-drops. But we do have Banishing Light to interact. In the meantime. Oh, boy. Please land? Please? This is a lot of Karns. Well, alright. No. We don't want Righteous Valkyrie to get out of hand, so we are going to get rid of it. We could have just Gideoned to prevent the damage from it, but the fact that they could just follow it up with a bunch of really nasty, nasty, mean things is not ideal. So, Karn, come on down. We have a whole bunch of follow-up Karns, so we're not really concerned about them killing this one. What do we want? This is presumably a creature matchup with lots and lots of little creatures. So I think we're just going to go with the Shadow Spear here, just in case we need to gain some life back. It is Collected Company. Oh, crud! Well, that could not have gone better for our opponent. I actually don't think it could have, honestly. Alright, Imposter the Sixth Pride is an angel, is a cleric, goes up to 35. Youthful Valkyrie. They go up to 44. Good golly, Miss Molly. Man, I wish we had some kind of life gain prevention here. Alright, just grab a God-Pharaoh statue, I suppose. We do have to Doomskar, otherwise, you know, we die. Yeah, opponent going to make a bunch of 1/1s in recompense, which is pretty dissatisfying, but acceptable in this case. 13 to 44, not particularly close as far as life totals are concerned, but you know, we're battling here. Down to 11. And Soul Warden coming on down, sure. And Angel of Vitality going to come down, gain 2 life. Board Sweeper. No. Well, that's not good. Yeah, this feels quite bad. So we're going to go after our Ratchet Bomb. Cast the Ratchet Bomb. And pass. The problem is, if our opponent just goes after our face here, we are in a lot of trouble. Yeah, they are doing that thing. So we're going to get rid of all of the spirits, but still take 5, down to 6. The opponent has another collected company or something. Like, that is just absolutely lights out. All right, they gain 2 life, up to 48. Let's see. What is... Okay, so we could... Meteor Golem out of the side. We could Gideon tick up to prevent the damage from Angel of Vitality. And Karn, Scion of Urza. I think we want to do that, right? Alright. Let's do that. Because this will help us find a board sweeper, right? We get 2 cards deeper. Hey, there's a Shatter the Sky. That's exactly what we're looking for, folks. They give us the land. We are unsurprised by that. So let's... we just go after Sorceress Spyglass to prevent our opponent from using the create an angel, the cleric, the 1/1 cleric that creates an angel thing, you know? Straight at our noggin. Down to 4. Alright. Well, folks, here's what we're going to do first. Turn Gideon into a creature. Go down. Get ourselves a Shatter the Sky. And Shatter the Sky because we draw a card. Opponent also draws a card. So let's... Sorcerer Spyglass to get a look at that hand. It is Speaker of Heavens, folks. Holy crud. That was a good call by us, I think. So Shadow Spear, equip to Gideon, get in for 5 lifelink. We are now up to 9. Thank heavens. Submit 0. Alright. Woo! That was a bit of a bullet dodged, I believe. Alright, Youthful Valkyrie comes down. Resplendent Angel. Oh, boy. Well, okay, never mind. That's a good one. So, Wrath of God. Creature. Equipped. Attack. Make a Karn struct. Mind Stone. Up. Submit 0. Pass the turn. Alright, opponent. Cast their Speaker of Heavens, because what else do you do, you know? And passes. Hey, that's a good one. So let's go ahead. God-Pharaoh statue. tick down. Make Gideon into a dude. Equip on this one. And get in. Alright, opponent down to exactly 27, which is an inconvenient life total. Because a bunch of their things still do things at 27. We're going to grab ourselves a Helm of the Host, though. Opponent drops to 26. Resplendent Angel. Okay. Our turn. Let's go up. It's Gideon and Gideon. Oh boy, folks. This is a tough one for our opponent, I think. Go up. Grant Indestructible. Become a dude. Attack. I'm going to block, predictably. Down to 15. So, yeah, we're just gonna make our opponent feel really bad. Sweep the board. We lose a Karn Struct, but just one. Yeah, and Romeo gonna scoop it up. I'm sorry, Romeo. that was brutal. But a good game nonetheless, and an honor to be your opponent. All right, folks, we are back. And honestly, the games went really well. I really can't complain. This is par for the course, honestly. We've made Mythic with this deck several different months. It's just a blast to play. I don't think it's ever dropped below a 60% win rate. And I mean, I've got hundreds of games with this deck. This is not one of those, clickbait, 10-0, did I break the format decks? No, this is just legitimately good. If it became meta, there are ways of taking it apart. There are pithing needles and, all that kind of stuff that can shut off your Gideons. And, there are things that opponents can do. But at least in the best of one meta, typically, people want to stay aggressive. Having 8 board sweepers is a good place to stay, or to be at. But we also have a relatively proactive game plan while being, good. We also, as long as we're on the play against control, we have a relatively okay game plan against control as well, as far as being proactive with planeswalkers. These are difficult permanents for control decks to deal with, and they tick up all the while beating our opponent's head in, and it can really, really cause problems. The on-board interactions are very good. It's also true that Karn the Great Creator, as long as it comes down early enough, shuts off opposing treasures and things, right? So it's legitimately, this is not just a meme. It is a meme. It's absolutely a meme, and you should play this meme because it's a ton of fun. But it is also, honestly, pretty good. So as far as our games, I almost recorded more video or more gameplay because I felt like our wins were just kind of steamrolling them, but every single win was us just kind of steamrolling them. We played a total of 6 games. We did lose 1 game to our opponent doing a bunch of counterspelly stuff. And they counterspelled basically everything we tried to resolve. So, it happens. We almost won anyway because we had the Castle Ardenvales down and we were just making Castle Ardenvale tokens and stuff. The rest of the wins though, it felt like we were just kind of it felt like we were in the driver's seat, whether that's true or not, that's up for interpretation, but that's the way it really felt. So, as far as things I might change, I do think we might go down 1 Field of Ruin, up 1. The Bonders Enclave, pretty good, power 4 or greater because we have all these. But there aren't a ton of these. And of course, the Karn Struct's often 4 power, but not always. So, might go with Scavenger Grounds. Maybe even 2, depending on how you feel about that. You also might consider changing things around for either more problematic permanent interaction or more board sweepers, depending on the meta you're expecting to see. Again, the Shatter the Sky is not super necessary. If you got them, they're fine. If you don't, Day of Judgments, Wrath of Gods, more Doomskars, all fine. You know, that's all fine. As a matter of fact, it might even be better to have all 4 Doomskar instead of some of them be Wrath of Gods. But because we're already kind of big at 4, so actually that might be a better plan anyway. Like this. But as far as that goes, honestly, it was a blast. I had a great time. I always do. We've played this deck a number of different times, and I just, you know, I wanted to show the YouTube audience again because it's been a long time, and you know the audience has grown since then and everything. So I wanted to show you because it's fun. So either way, would I build this deck if I were just starting out in Historic? Absolutely. Of all of the decks that I own, this is the one that I personally would build. Admittedly, I do like white. I do have a proclivity for Gideon specifically. And I do generally enjoy slower, grindy, mid-rangey play. So this is absolutely playing into some of my own personal biases. But this is a deck that every standard season, or I mean every season on Historic, I feel confident I could get to Mythic with this deck every single time. No questions asked. And it would always be a blast getting there. So of all of the decks in my repertoire to craft, this and maybe like Brash Taunter would be the biggest ones I would absolutely go for first. So there you have it. I will catch you all next time.